do you feel your team is at? I mean, early in the season, you guys, there was a lot of games where you were chasing. Now that doesn't always seem to be the case. Do you feel like you guys are kind of transitioning into something a little more cohesive now, especially with kind of the lines all together, kind of probably the way you guys might want them?
Um, yeah, I think it's always kind of a moving target. You're always looking to get better, always looking to perfect something, always looking to become, more in tune with how we want to play. So I think that's a moving target. Yeah, we're definitely getting better. Our record's been pretty good, so that's an easy way to say that we've had success. But parts of our game have been really good, and then there's parts of our game that need a little bit of work. So I think it's slowly going up the mountain, trying to build up to be hitting our stride at the right time of year. So if we can continue to stay on the path that we're on, just perfect things in our game as the season goes along, I think we're going to be happy with where we're at towards the end of the year.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Andrew, I want to go back to the 3-on-3. I get the idea of putting the three forwards out there to go win the game, but the idea should probably work the other way, in that you guys shouldn't be as good defending with those players out there. But you guys, I think, have been really great defending with those forwards and really aggressive. Essentially, when you lose the puck, you just go get it back. How have you guys been able to pull off that aggressively defensive side of things with the three forwards in overtime?
Well, it seems like we have the puck a lot, which is obviously going to help. But yeah, I mean, I think, and there's a lot of speed there too, which is going to help on that defensive side, especially with how wide open, 3-on-3 can be. So I feel like we haven't really given the other team a whole lot of chances. And it's kind of just due to our speed and being able to hold on to the puck as long as possible. And then, if a team is defending for a long time and then they finally get the puck, well, they're not going to have as much gas as they normally would. So it's kind of easy to jump on them a little quicker and maybe get that puck back.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Morning, Andrew. Just wondering where you find the balance on when to skate in a morning skate or take the option in a practice. You guys are in the midst of an extremely busy month here. You'll get 2 days off after tonight's game, and then I think you only have 2 more mini breaks all year where you have more than just 1 day between games. So I guess where's that rest versus rust kind of mentality? How do you balance that as?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a complicated equation. I'm usually a skater. This morning I wasn't. Felt like just maybe I didn't sleep as well as I wanted to last night, or anything along those lines. So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a game by game basis. Some guys are typically a skater and typically a non-skater, and then just kind of what's going on around with the schedule. How you're feeling, minutes, if you practiced the day before, how you like your game, if you want to change something up. So there's a whole lot that goes into it. And I think it's just kind of up to each individual player. I think the staff's done a good job of making, it's whatever you feel like is best for you to be ready to go. They don't care if you played, 1 game or 100 or 1,000 games. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever makes you ready to go.
I'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Andrew, that process of the 5-man unit of team defense, it's a daily process. How do you guys measure that, and how do you know when you're making strides that you want to be making so that you're peaking, I guess, for the stretch run and into the playoffs?
I mean, I think you kind of know, just in the flow of the game, how we're doing down there. I mean, there's times where you're in your zone a lot, but it's you like your D zone. You like you're closing guys down. Their pucks are staying along the wall. Guys are in the right spots. Guys are closing on their guys. They got good sticks. So there's times when you're in the D zone and it's good, but you're still there. Whether it's high danger or not is kind of what you feel on the bench or feel during the game. But still, if you have a D zone shift and nothing might happen, but pucks should just kind of end up along the wall. There's battles here and there. Pucks are getting rimmed back down from the D. you come off the ice and I mean, you don't feel as good as if you would as if it's an offensive zone shift. So it's obviously it gets measured by high danger chances and goals against. But that is a part of our game that we do need to perfect is closing those plays down a little quicker so we can get back to offense quickly. And I mean, part of that is not turning pucks over in the neutral zone. I think, you saw in the second period the other night when we mess around with it too much and kind of play into their game, then you're going to end up in D zone situations more often than not. And whether your D zone is good or not, it's kind of beside the point of wanting to play in the O zone and wanting to make them defend us. So the more we can do that, then kind of like I said with the 3-on-3, like the less gas that they'll have trying to come play offense. Then it's either a chip to a change or, it's already 35 seconds in. You can kind of close guys down a little quicker than you would maybe at the beginning of the shift, and then you get to break out easier, and now you got legs and you're going the other way. So, the game's very cyclical that way. And, I think we're starting to figure out what exactly makes us successful and what can, cause us problems. And obviously you want to be in the D zone as low as possible. So definitely a point of our game tonight is going to get back to that first period where we're very direct and not turning pucks over in the neutral zone, because that just leads to D zone.
Just a couple more for Andrew. We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Andrew, you had talked about, building towards something, and that's been a theme I've noticed with this team all year. Where do you think this team is in regards to achieving its full potential?
I think we know that we can continue to get better. I think there's parts of our game that need to get worked on that were maybe really good earlier in the year, or had a good stretch, or there's other things that are going right now that maybe we've improved upon throughout the course of the year. So it's just kind of a matter of getting all those things clicking at the right time. And I think we're definitely working towards that. I feel like we continue to learn more about ourselves with each game, without still a shortened season. I mean, we're only a little over 20 games in with no preseason. We got, new faces in the lineup. We're still kind of feeling out exactly what our team identity is going to be. So I feel like we learned something each game, and we're going to continue to grow together and, hopefully grow into, a formidable force as we get closer to playoff time.
And final question to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Just going back to that direct game that you talked about, why is it so difficult to play that just like repetitively over and over again? Is it just because the game dictates it, the other team dictates you not being able to just kind of play that north-south? Like why is that simple game so sometimes complicated to play?
I think it's hard to, maybe it's easier to start from, but it's hard to stick to because, you get a couple turnovers in the offensive zone, then you make your plays and, you get good chances and it's like, okay, I'm feeling it tonight. I'm feeling good. And then maybe you see something coming through the neutral zone that, you have a high confidence level to make the play, and you see it's open for a quick second, then you try and make it. And then, and that's what Montreal looks to do. They look to knock that stuff down in the neutral zone and kind of quick counter the other way. So that's when you have to have the confidence to stay with what you're doing instead of continue to try and get more and get more and get more, because that's where it kind of comes to bite you. So it's almost like you have to have the confidence to not make the play too. I think Paul's talked about that before with you guys, but we were buzzing so good in the first the other night, and plays were being made all over the offensive zone, and we were on the puck and causing turnovers. And then, you kind of see something in the neutral zone in the second, because we got a lot of confidence. We're feeling the puck. We're feeling good. We're feeling like we're in control of the game. And then, one extra play turns into a 2-on-1 the other way, and now we're behind it. And then, a few of those later, and then all of a sudden we're in the D zone for most of the period. So you can build it into your mentality to start there. That's when it gets harder though, is to stay there throughout the course of the game. And I think that's part of what we're working towards in terms of our identity is to have that ability to not try and force things because we're creating so much just from O zone to not try and force things to neutral zone.